It seems like there's a lot of confusion about D2S bulbs when you're trying to replace your HID bulbs. If your vehicle and your headlights use an HID bulb that's a D2S bulb, there's so much to choose from on the market that it gets a bit convoluted and hard to really decide which one is best. In this video, I'm going to try to find out which one is truly best. I'm going to show you some LED options, some HID options, and show you what they look like on the wall to actually let you guys make an informed decision. Obviously, I'm going to show you what your stock bulbs look like, but then we're going to install the Cool Blue Intense Xenarc, the Philips D2S Xenon WhiteVision Gen 2, the Philips D2S Xenon ExtremeVision Gen 2, the Osram Nightbreaker, one from Amazon called DMEX, and a variety of different color temperatures from Morimoto, we'll dive into that later, and even an LED option from Oxido and the Morimoto TwoStroke 4.0. I do want to share my overwhelming concern right away, and that is LED bulbs simply are not the right fit for you. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, because in customer service, we have an entire team, and every single day they send a video that I made 8 years ago to them. That's why we're essentially remaking this, pretty much saying that the LED bulb is not the way to go. Now, since we made that video, there's other bulbs like this from Oxido. It's an LED bulb. And yes, it's easier to fit in. You don't have to cut and splice a bunch of stuff and use a voltmeter and do a pass-through harness through the dust cover. It's a simple plug and play install, except there's a looming problem. I'll show you the outputs in a second because they're not bright. And then also, the base of this LED is pretty big, and that's a serious problem. Now, a lot of you guys are gonna just upgrade your OEM bulbs in your stock housing. But sometimes you retrofitters, the people that have been around the block and modify your headlights, will have something like this, a Morimoto D2S 5.0 projector. Some people literally pull their headlight housing apart and then slap this in here because you get such a good output and you can really make this puppy bright, and it's a super wide beam pattern. It's a great projector. It's like a world-renowned projector. Now, the issue with this LED bulb and some other ones on Amazon is that, like I said, this is too big, so you can't even get it to fit in this projector. LED bulbs just simply don't fit in every single application. Could I get it to fit in this 370Z housing? Yes, I did, but it's not bright. I'll show you guys that in a second. We also sell this, which is the Morimoto TwoStroke 4.0 bulb. Arguably, probably the 4th brightest bulb in the world, and it's super refined, it's adjustable, and you can get a good beam pattern every single time. The issue with that is that you do have to do a little bit of modification. This is not a D2S bulb, it's a D2H bulb. It doesn't have the same connector as the connector on the backside here. So you are gonna have to cut and splice this and maybe get like a 9005 pigtail, attach it to this so that we have some bare wires, and then cut and splice into it. Then use a pass-through harness on the backside of this housing so your wiring can come from your bulb all the way out to your ballast and actually power on correctly. If this was me, I would not do this. I would use a D2S bulb to replace my OEM D2S bulb. Just something I wanted to know, because customer service always takes your guys' phone call over and over and over again. And at this point, we just don't suggest putting an LED bulb in a D2S housing. Now, I know you guys are gonna skip ahead and see which one's brightest and then buy that one to install it in whatever headlight housing you had, except some of these are very expensive. So price is extremely important. At the time of this video, the Osram Cool Blue we purchased for $158. The Osram Nightbreaker we purchased for $170. The Philips D2S WhiteVision Generation 2 was $214. The Philips ExtremeVision Gen 2 was $193, and the Morimoto bulbs all were about $76. The Oxido bulbs I bought from Amazon were about $60, and the DMEX bulbs were only $30. The LED bulb, the TwoStroke 4.0, was $240. It seems like 2 years is the industry standard when it comes to warranties. Everything had a 2-year warranty except for the Morimoto TwoStroke 4.0, the LED bulb that has a lifetime warranty. And then on Amazon, the other Oxido LED bulb, I saw a 30-day money-back guarantee, but I did not see anything above that, and I couldn't dive into the manufacturer warranty for some reason. Now, after that, the fun part happens, outputs. So this is always the fun part. I've got this headlight, just one headlight on the table. I got it pulled back at a certain distance, and then I'm measuring the EMAX, or the maximum lux. I'm using this meter here, which measures the actual usable brightness at the brightest point on the wall. I'm keeping in mind the HV point. That's just what this red laser is on the wall. That's just to allow me to aim these properly so that they all stack up pretty good. Now, this headlight housing has the OEM bulb in it, and we're gonna start there as the benchmark and then go from there. I'll even give you guys a percentage change in brightness, either less bright or more bright, depending on how good these bulbs do. Using the lux meter, the stock HID bulb, I measured on low beam 119.7 maximum lux. This is going to be the benchmark from here on out. The Philips D2S WhiteVision Generation 2 bulb looks like this. On low beam, I measured 240 maximum lux. So in this case, at 1 minute saturation, this one was 101% brighter than the stock HID bulb. The Philips D2S ExtremeVision Gen 2 was 191% brighter. I measured 348.1 maximum lux. The Osram Cool Blue wasn't nearly as bright. It was still 94% brighter than your stock OEM bulb at 232.3 maximum lux. The Osram Nightbreaker, in this test alone, I measured 153% brighter than your stock bulb, which was 302.6 maximum lux. I know you don't see much of a change when it comes to the beam pattern as much as the color temperature. Pay close attention to that because color temperature matters. If you really want a video that goes in depth talking about color temperature and which one might be right for you, we made that video a long time ago on this YouTube channel. Watch that video next. Morimoto has been around for a very long time and they love modifying when it comes to the color temperature. So this is what the 3000K bulb looks like. That 3000K bulb is obviously yellow and it's still 117% brighter, or 259.6 maximum lux at the brightest point. I oftentimes don't see a very bright light output out of a yellow or an amber color. This is what the Morimoto bulb in a 3800K looks like. It's a 35 watt bulb, and I measured it at 80% brighter than stock, so 215.4 maximum lux on low beam. The 4000K was 154% brighter, and this is much more usable than the 3800 or the 3000K in my opinion. If you're gonna put in your headlights, 4000K is not bad. On low beam, I measured 303.9 maximum lux. You do gain a little bit of brightness when you install the Morimoto 5000K bulb at 156% brighter than your stock bulb. I measured 306.5 maximum lux, really close to the 4000K bulb. The 6000K bulb, I measured 133% brighter. The higher you go up, the more cool blue it looks. I measured 278.5 maximum lux. Representing the LED team, Oxido on low beam was only 84% brighter. Like I said, this was a plug and play option, but it was not nearly as bright as every other D2S HID bulb that I saw. I measured 219.9 maximum lux. The DMEX bulb on low beam was 104% brighter, or 243.4 maximum lux. And if you really wanted to go through the trouble to install the Morimoto TwoStroke 4.0 bulb, I did measure 140% brighter, or 287 maximum lux. Again, it's a little bit more work, but at least you get a little more brightness than the Oxido, and you still get that bright white color, but it was really important in this housing alone to adjust it and dial it in by clocking the bulb correctly. It was very easy to get a bad beam pattern by not having this clocked properly. Now I'm gonna power through the high beam. Now you are gonna notice that on a high beam was where the major improvements happen. If you really want a stronger high beam, yes, absolutely change your bulbs. Now this is what your stock high beam looks like. This is the benchmark for the high beam. I measured 229.7 maximum lux at the brightest point on this wall. This is the Philips D2S WhiteVision on high beam. It was 238% brighter. The D2S ExtremeVision was 262% brighter. The Osram Cool Blue was 260% brighter. The Osram Nightbreaker was 254% brighter. And the Morimoto 3000K bulb, I measured 102% brighter on high beam. So 464 maximum lux at the brightest point. That's still not too bad. The 3800K bulb was 116% brighter. The 4000K bulb was 158% brighter. The 5000K was 175% brighter. And the 6000K bulb was 99% brighter. The DMEX on high beam, I measured 136% brighter. The Oxido LED was 11% brighter. And the Morimoto TwoStroke 4.0 was 24% brighter on high beam. Whew. Now I know that was a lot of talking. It was a lot of numbers. Just pause it, take some time to truly find out which color temperature you like more, the look you like more, and then obviously performance. In my opinion, after all of that testing, and it took a long time testing, I would recommend the Philips ExtremeVision. This bulb was the brightest overall on low beam and high beam. Second runner up, I would recommend the Osram bulb right here. This is the Nightbreaker. This is very good on both low beam and high beam. And then if you wanted a more budget-friendly bulb, I would recommend the Morimoto bulbs. They still were pretty bright, depending on which color you got. You can modify them, but they were like half the price of these ones. So if I was going to install it in my vehicle, I like that. I don't necessarily like the higher blue temperatures that you can get with that Kelvin rating. You can get these in a whole variety. I also wouldn't drive around with 3000K in my opinion. If you want yellow headlights, sure, go right ahead. It's all the power to you. Hope this video helps. Remember, don't put those LEDs in the D2S slot yet. The last thing we want to do is replace this D2S bulb with an LED bulb. I have not personally found something that's bright enough to suggest you guys use an LED bulb over an HID bulb yet. It just hasn't came that far yet. So go to headlightrevolution.com right now to find everything you need and more.